Welcome to Relaxing Science. Take a moment to get comfortable. Let your body settle and allow your breathing to slow down, gently, naturally, without any effort. Tonight, we explore something unusual, something simple, and at the same time, quietly fascinating. Boring facts, but not in a way that feels empty, rather in a way that feels calm, steady, predictable. Because sometimes the most ordinary things are the easiest to listen to and the easiest to relax with. For example, every single day, the Earth rotates at a steady speed, completing one full turn in about 24 hours. This rotation is what creates day and night, and it happens so consistently, so reliably, that we rarely think about it. Even now, as you listen, the Earth is turning, slowly, silently, carrying everything with it, including you. Another quiet fact is that water, one of the most common substances on Earth, covers about 71% of the planet's surface. Oceans, lakes, rivers, all part of the same continuous cycle. Water evaporates, forms clouds, falls as rain, and returns again. A simple, repeating pattern that has existed for millions of years. The human body also follows quiet patterns. Your heart beats again and again without pause, on average, around 60 to 100 times per minute, a steady rhythm that continues throughout your entire life. You don't need to think about it, it simply continues. Breathing is similar, inhaling, exhaling, a natural cycle that adjusts itself depending on what your body needs. Even as you relax, your breathing becomes slower, deeper, more calm. Another simple fact is that most of the air you breathe is made up of nitrogen, about 78%. Oxygen, the part your body uses, makes up about 21%. The remaining small percentage consists of other gases, invisible, quiet, always present. Gravity is another constant. It gently pulls everything toward the Earth, keeping your body grounded, holding oceans in place, allowing objects to fall at a predictable rate. This constant force never stops. Even if you never notice it, time itself moves forward at a steady pace, second by second, minute by minute, without speeding up, without slowing down, a continuous flow that carries every moment into the next. Even the smallest details follow patterns. For example, most people blink around 15 to 20 times per minute, each blink lasting only a fraction of a second, keeping the eyes moist and comfortable. A small, automatic action that happens without awareness. The world is full of these quiet processes, clocks ticking, leaves growing, clouds drifting slowly across the sky. Nothing rushed, nothing forced, just slow, steady change. Even something as simple as walking follows a rhythm, one step, then another, a repeated pattern, balanced and consistent. Your body knows how to do it without thinking. The same is true for many everyday actions, like swallowing, or adjusting your posture, or shifting your focus. All of these processes happen quietly, in the background, without effort. Even light travels at a constant speed, moving through space, reaching your eyes, allowing you to see. Though you may not notice it, it is always there, always moving. Even sound moves in waves, traveling through the air, reaching your ears, allowing you to hear each word, each subtle tone, each quiet pause. Everything around you follows some kind of pattern, a steady, predictable flow that continues moment after moment. And as you listen, you may begin to notice how simple these patterns are, how calm they feel, how easy they are to follow. And there are many more small, quiet details that continue all around you. Far below the surface of the ocean, where sunlight can no longer reach, there is a vast, quiet world, a place of darkness, calm pressure, and slow movement. The deeper you go, the colder the water becomes, and the less light remains, until everything fades into complete darkness. This region is known as the deep ocean, and it makes up the largest habitat on Earth. Even though it feels distant and unknown, it covers more of the planet than land ever could. At great depths, the pressure becomes extremely strong, stronger than anything we experience on the surface. Yet many creatures live there, adapted to these conditions, moving slowly, conserving energy, in a place where food is rare and time feels almost still. Some deep-sea animals produce their own light, a soft glow known as bioluminescence, used to attract food, communicate, or quietly move through the dark. These lights appear gently, fading in and out, like distant stars in an endless ocean. Even though the ocean feels still, it is always moving. Slow currents travel across great distances, connecting different parts of the world, carrying heat, nutrients, and energy. These currents move quietly over days, months, even years, a slow and steady flow that shapes the entire planet. Closer to the surface, waves form from the wind, rising and falling again and again, a repeating motion, calm and predictable. Each wave similar to the last, yet never exactly the same. The ocean also has layers, each with its own temperature and density. Warm water near the top, colder water below, and in between, gradual transitions, where everything shifts slowly. Sound travels differently underwater, moving faster than it does through air, carrying distant noises across long spaces. Whales, for example, can communicate over hundreds of kilometers, their calls low and steady, echoing softly through the ocean. Even something as simple as salt plays an important role. Seawater contains dissolved minerals, giving it a slightly salty taste and helping regulate movement and balance. Tiny organisms, almost invisible, drift through the water, plankton moving with the currents, forming the base of the ocean's food chain, a quiet beginning for many larger forms of life. Some parts of the ocean floor remain almost unchanged, flat, still, covered in fine layers of sediment, slowly settling over thousands of years, a record of time, built layer by layer. Even underwater volcanoes exist, releasing heat from deep within the earth, creating warm areas in otherwise cold surroundings, where unique life forms gather, adapting to extreme conditions. Despite everything, the ocean remains calm in its own way, a place of slow movement, gentle cycles, and quiet balance, where time feels different, less urgent, more steady. And as these patterns continue, there are still many more details, quiet, simple, and endlessly unfolding. In the deepest parts of the ocean, there are places known as trenches. These areas reach incredible depths, far beyond what sunlight can touch. The deepest known point lies more than 10,000 meters below the surface, a place so deep that the pressure is immense. And yet, even there, life still exists. Small organisms adapted to darkness and silence, moving slowly in a world without light. In many areas of the ocean, temperatures remain close to freezing, just a few degrees above zero, creating a calm, stable environment where change happens slowly. Some fish living in these depths have very slow metabolisms. They conserve energy, moving gently only when necessary, allowing them to survive in places where food is limited. Above them, in the mid-ocean layers, creatures drift quietly. Some rise and fall each day in one of the largest daily movements on Earth, traveling upward at night and returning to the depths by day. A slow, rhythmic journey repeated again and again. Coral reefs in shallower waters grow very slowly, sometimes only a few millimeters each year. Yet over long periods, they form vast structures full of life, color, and quiet movement. Seawater constantly shifts in temperature and salinity, creating gentle differences in density, which help drive the slow movement of ocean currents. These currents connect distant parts of the world, carrying warmth from one region to another, balancing the planet's climate. Even ice plays a role in the ocean. At the poles, sea ice forms and melts, changing the flow of water and influencing global patterns. Some regions of the ocean are so calm that the surface appears almost perfectly still, like a mirror reflecting the sky, while far below, slow currents continue their steady motion. The ocean floor is not completely flat. It contains mountains, valleys, and ridges, similar to landscapes on land, but hidden beneath the water. Sediments, tiny particles, slowly fall through the water, settling on the ocean floor, layer by layer, over thousands and millions of years, creating a quiet record of time. Some deep-sea creatures have adapted in unusual ways, with soft bodies, slow movements, and the ability to withstand immense pressure. Others rely on sensing vibrations rather than sight, detecting movement in complete darkness. Even light behaves differently underwater. Colors fade with depth. Red disappears first, followed by orange, yellow, and green, until only shades of blue remain, and eventually complete darkness. Sound, however, continues to travel, carrying low, steady tones across great distances, creating a quiet, continuous background of subtle vibrations. The ocean, despite its vast size, operates through simple, repeating systems: currents, temperature changes, pressure, all working together in a slow, balanced flow. Even storms at the surface eventually fade, returning the water to calm movement and steady rhythm. As these processes continue, there are always more quiet patterns, more simple details waiting just beneath the surface. Beneath the calm surface, the ocean continues its slow and steady rhythm. In many regions, the water moves in large circular patterns called gyres. These massive systems turn gently over long periods of time, guided by wind, the rotation of the Earth, and differences in temperature. They move quietly, carrying water across entire oceans. Some areas of the ocean are known as the open sea, far away from land. where the horizon stretches endlessly. In these regions, the environment can feel empty, yet even here, life exists. Small organisms drift with the currents, barely moving on their own, carried slowly through the vast space. The color of the ocean often appears blue because water absorbs other colors of light and reflects the blue wavelengths back to the surface, creating that familiar, calm appearance. In colder regions, the ocean becomes denser and heavier water sinks downward, while warmer water rises, a gentle exchange that helps circulate the entire ocean. This process happens slowly, sometimes taking hundreds of years. To complete a full cycle, the ocean also absorbs a large amount of heat, helping to regulate the planet's temperature, keeping climates more stable, reducing extreme changes. Even the tides follow a steady pattern, rising and falling twice each day in most places, guided by the gravitational pull of the moon, a predictable rhythm that repeats without interruption. Some waves travel across entire oceans, generated by distant winds, moving steadily until they reach the shore, breaking gently, one after another, a continuous motion that never fully stops. Deep below, hydrothermal vents release warm water, rich in minerals, creating small ecosystems where unique life forms exist, completely independent of sunlight, relying instead on chemical energy. Even in such extreme environments, life adapts, finding balance, moving slowly, following simple patterns. In the quiet darkness, fish in the deep ocean often grow very slowly, living longer than many surface species, their movements calm and deliberate, conserving energy in a place where food is scarce. Some regions of the ocean are incredibly still, with very little movement at all, a kind of natural silence, where time seems to pass differently. The surface may appear unchanged, but below, subtle currents continue their gentle flow. Even the smallest particles, tiny grains of sand or organic matter, sink slowly through the water, taking days or even weeks to reach the ocean floor, a quiet descent through layers of calm water. As they settle, they become part of the seabed, adding to the slow accumulation of sediment over long periods of time. The ocean floor changes, but only very gradually, in ways that are almost impossible to notice in the moment. The entire ocean, from the surface to the deepest trench, exists in a balance of motion and stillness, always moving, yet always calm, a steady system, guided by simple forces, repeating patterns, and quiet continuity. And as these patterns continue, there are always more gentle processes, more subtle movements, unfolding slowly beneath the surface.
In many parts of the ocean, light fades gradually. Near the surface, sunlight is bright and clear, but as you move deeper, it becomes softer, dimmer, until it disappears completely. This transition happens slowly, creating layers of light and shadow, each with its own quiet atmosphere. In the upper layers, plants like phytoplankton use sunlight, converting it into energy through a simple process repeated every day. These tiny organisms produce much of the oxygen that spreads through the water and even into the air. They drift gently, carried by currents, forming the base of a vast, interconnected system. As depth increases, movement often becomes slower. Creatures conserve energy, floating or gliding, with minimal effort. Some fish have adapted to remain almost motionless, suspended in the water, waiting quietly, in a state of calm stillness. The temperature of the ocean changes with depth, warm at the surface, cooler below, and near freezing in the deepest regions. These differences create boundaries, where water layers mix only slowly, maintaining a steady structure. Even pressure increases in a smooth, continuous way, becoming stronger with every meter, yet it remains constant, predictable, unchanging in its pattern. Some areas of the ocean are known for their clarity. Where water is so transparent, that light travels deeper than usual, revealing soft shades of blue, fading into darkness. In other regions, particles in the water scatter light, creating a more muted, gentle appearance. The ocean floor, in many places, is covered with fine sand or soft layers of organic material, settling slowly over time, undisturbed for long periods. Even underwater, there are slow movements of the Earth's crust, shifting plates, moving just a few centimeters each year, reshaping the ocean floor in a process so gradual it feels almost still. Some underwater mountains rise thousands of meters, yet remain hidden beneath the surface. Silent structures formed over millions of years. Currents continue to carry nutrients from deep waters to the surface, supporting life in a quiet, ongoing cycle. Even the simplest actions, like a drop of water moving through the ocean, follow a path shaped by temperature, pressure, and flow. A slow journey, guided by natural forces. The ocean also absorbs sound differently, allowing low-frequency waves to travel far, creating a deep, steady background, almost like a distant, continuous hum. Some regions experience almost no change, remaining stable for long periods, a kind of natural balance where everything continues, slowly, without interruption. The surface may shift with wind and waves, but below, calm layers remain, moving gently in their own quiet rhythm. Even the interaction between ocean and atmosphere happens gradually. Heat exchange, evaporation, cloud formation, all part of a continuous, repeating system. Nothing sudden, nothing rushed, only slow, steady transformation. As water moves, as currents flow, as layers shift, the ocean maintains its balance, a vast system guided by simple rules, repeating patterns, and quiet motion. And as these gentle processes continue, there are always more small details, more subtle rhythms, extending endlessly through the calm depths.
The ocean is full of quiet wonders that continue endlessly. One small but fascinating fact is that tiny organisms called diatoms drift silently through the water. They capture sunlight, convert it into energy, and form the base of the entire marine food chain. Their slow, gentle movements, carried by currents, create a subtle rhythm that continues day and night. Another calming fact is that the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, slowly, gradually, helping to stabilize the Earth's climate. This process happens without rush, without noise, a quiet exchange that maintains balance. Even waves that break on the shore follow a gentle, predictable rhythm, rising, falling, repeating over and over, softly, consistently. All of these simple, steady processes create a sense of calm, a continuous flow, a natural order that never truly stops. The ocean's deep currents, the slow drift of plankton, the quiet settling of sediment, and the gradual shaping of the ocean floor all work together in a gentle harmony. And as these processes continue, they remind us of the beauty in calm, in slow motion, in quiet patterns that unfold endlessly beneath the surface. This steady, tranquil rhythm carries on through every layer, every depth, every corner of the vast ocean, inviting the mind to relax, to release tension, and to drift slowly into calmness, into rest, into quiet peace.